Hi folks. So for this lecture we want to cover largely the 1920s and 30s with a little spilling into the teens and 40s. And we really want to see how the world kind of picks itself up and rebuilds itself after World War I. So a couple of questions that we want to think about today is, one, how does World War I reshape boundaries, redraw maps? We'll largely focus on Europe, but we can also think about that in terms of how it spills out in imperialism in places like Asia and Africa, and then we'll end up by thinking a little bit about how Japan and China change in this period too. Obviously, World War I was a huge catastrophic war, and in the first slide we'll actually kind of summarize the end results of that war. So if it was so big and so brutal, obviously a goal of folks after they get out of it is to prevent something like that from happening again. So our second question we want to think about is, how do, again, largely Western countries try and prevent another war of this scale? And one of the ironies is that what they do kind of paves the way for World War II. So how do their approaches make war more likely? If we especially think in a broader context, the 1930s especially are years of Great Depression. They are years of the Dust Bowl in the United States. They are years of huge inflation throughout Europe. So how do those things impact the globe? And then lastly, just because we've been largely focusing in Europe, we want to get very specific in Asia, as that's going to enter the world stage even more in World War II, and think about what type of changes are going on in China and Japan.